Feel free to click off this video if you don't like the mic quality. Feel free to click off this video if you're not comfortable with watching a 12-year-old educate you about coaching businesses or essentially scaling this entire coaching business thing. But the way me and my team approach it when we're trying to scale coaching business is that we approach it in different stages. So three stages, especially because in stage one, when you're trying to scale from 0 to 50K per month, you need to build strong, unbreakable foundations. When you're trying to scale from 50K to 100K per month, or essentially six figures, you need to start focusing on leverage, or essentially being able to take on more clients without sacrificing client results. And when you're getting to stage three, where you're trying to scale to seven figures and you're essentially building the actual empire itself, is when you're going to need some more advanced systems. But let's just get straight to the point. So there's a complete distinction or complete difference when it comes to a coaching business and an empire. So a coaching empire just goes way deeper beyond than just coaching because it's a transfer of knowledge and you're willingly giving results to your mentees or coaching clients. So you essentially become an emperor that you're operating an empire that's built on unbreakable foundations. So what I'm going to do for in the next few minutes is I'm going to show you this entire funnel that I've built for coaching businesses and then show you this entire screen over here where I explain your bottlenecks, key philosophies, and then what it takes to unlock stage two or when you're trying to scale to six figures. So let's get straight to the point. So the reason why I can share all this knowledge is that I'm inside of an agency. I work with an agency and I've helped countless of coaches alongside my team members when it comes to scaling coaching businesses. So we're essentially kind of ghosts. We don't have a personal brand, but we work and operate in the shadows. So let's get straight to the point. So in your coaching business, you need to have top of funnel content, all that basic guru stuff that you tell them or people tell you. So with your top of funnel content, you're building brand awareness, and similar to this guy, he's not relating with his coaching business or he's not telling anything about his coaching business, but he's just reaching as much people as he could possibly can. So you can see over here, talk to God more. Amen, obviously. So afterwards, in your top of funnel content, they'll go down to your middle funnel content, or essentially your middle funnel content where you're nurturing them. So these middle funnel content have strong hooks, you're providing value, and they have a strong CTA, and you're essentially giving value and educating your audience. So your audience has two choices to go. They can either go and engage with your content, or they can go to your CTA, or also go to your stories. So when they go to your CTAs, they have three more paths to go to. They can go to your free community, where they'll get nurtured and get vomited on with free value, or they can book in a free strategy call where they'll be sent to a type form to see if they fit for the free strategy call. But in reality, you're just qualifying them to see if they can actually book in a call and they're fit for your mentorship offer. If they're unqualified, they'll just be sent to the free community where you'll send over some valuable resources. And if they commented or DM'd the word for a lead magnet, which would be like a document, they'd get reached out by the AI appointment setter where they'll essentially qualify them from there. If they go from the stories where you host these story sequences that generate FOMO or authority with your case studies, results, and testimonials, they'll also be reached out with your AI appointment setter. And if they engage with any single one of your content, so if they comment, like, favorite, or share, they'll also be reached out to the AI appointment setter to see if the AI appointment setter sees that customer as somebody who's qualified for your fitness or not fitness coaching, but your coaching offer. Next, the AI appointment setter will send them with an opener, or essentially hyper personalized opener after the AI scans the prospect's profile. The AI will get their desires, pains, beliefs, motivators, and also their financial status, or essentially how much money they set aside to actually invest in your mentorship, and we'll finally book in the call. Yay! But that's not it, because we're going to send them over to the pre-call process where we'll essentially sell the prospects before they even hop on a sales call. So we're going to essentially build up a high amount of perceived value with the prospect and essentially build a high level relationship so that they're actually willing to work with you and also buy multiple high ticket figures for your coaching. So before we even get to this entire pre-call flow, I want to tell you about this continuing the genuine convo. So you need to hire a nurturing specialist or essentially somebody or maybe it could be an AI agent that actually continues the conversation after they've booked in a call. So don't just leave them and be somebody or another guru who wants to take their money and give me your money, but actually somebody who wants to help them out. So after you say, awesome, bro, locked you in for tomorrow, 4 p.m. East. By the way, dude, what's your story? What got you in fitness? Example, fitness in the first place. So after you've continued the genuine convo, 48 hours before the call, they'll be sent over with a pre-call VSL where you essentially explain everything that the prospect needs to know. 24 hours before the call, they'll send over a case study or your latest case study. And if you can see these over here, which are the SMS and DM follow-ups, in the middle of these pre-call assets that you'll be sending them over with the AI agents, or you'll be having a team that will be following them up. 6 hours before the call, you'll send them over with an educational video, so something that they actually want. 2 hours before the call, you'll send over your biggest case study. 30 minutes before the call, you'll send over a confirmation because they don't have enough time to be consuming any more pre-call assets. And 5 to 1 minutes before the call, you'll be calling them up or giving your last CS SMS follow-up. So now prospects trust you more, they're more educated, and they're also more warmed up. So once the call actually starts, if there are no show, you'll call up the prospect, and if they ghost you or they don't respond, then you'll essentially just say fuck off. Else, if they actually respond, then you can rebook in the call today or literally now. And once the call starts, you'll be building up quick rapport in the first 1 to 2 minutes. After you build up some rapport with them, you'll essentially frame yourself as a kind of authority. So instead of them choosing if they want to work with you, you're the one who's choosing, or you're essentially the coach who's choosing if you want to work with them. So you're essentially splitting the roles, if you understand me. After framing, you'll be actually qualifying them, so you'll get their desires, goals, pains, beliefs, motivators, and how much money they've actually saved up so they can actually buy the mentorship that you're selling. Once the call is closed, you'll be booking a second call where you'll essentially be explaining your entire mechanism and essentially the entire strategy and what you'll do in the mentorship for them. And finally, you'll begin with the onboarding process or the onboarding system. So you'll be sending them over with an application form. So you'll essentially, in the application form, you'll get all the necessary details about the client that you need with your one-on-one coaching. So they'll fill out the form and you'll get it. After they filled out the form, you'll both hop on a clarity call. And by the way, you can also fill out the form with them on the call. And parts in the form that you need more clarity and information with, you discuss on this clarity call. What this does is that it makes sure that both of you are on the same page, you both have clarity, and you both know what to do next. So you're supposed to get more details, figure out the language, and build trust. Afterwards, you create the plans on this call, and then book in another call, which is the plan and tech call, which can be booked the day after, where essentially explain everything that the client needs to know about your system or process. So you're essentially explain the Rizzler's 69-day process that we use to scale multiple gazillion agencies past 6, 7 figures, whatever, whatever. You also need to be crystal clear and don't get off the call till the client knows everything that they need to know to get results. So essentially, they take ownership of the call and the entire process. So afterwards, when you need to check up on on the prospect every day, you need to be having 5 minute checkup calls. So it's shorter, but you get more feedback because it's daily. So once a week, you can also go through all the data and everything that has happened and make changes and iterations of program as you needed. So I just went over the entire follow over, and I haven't finished with the paid ad strategy. So paid ads is just another mechanism to get you in front of the people. It's just the same with content. At the end of the day, you're attracting leads. You're not actually going to them. So when you're running paid ads, you need to mass test as many different angles as much as you can. So you need to identify the people that you need to reach and avoid trying to reach as many people or everybody at once that isn't qualified. So once you find your when you're retargeting ad, you'll essentially send over the prospect or the leads to a Typhoon quiz where the AI lead scoring system and the data that they input in that Typhoon quiz will be connected in the CRM. So after they fill that platform quiz, they'll be sent over to a landing page with your Calendly link where they can book in a call. And if the prospect leaves the page, they'll be sent over with an email sequences, SMS sequences, and an AI dialer that calls them 10 seconds after they've opted in. So, yo, bro, why didn't you show up to the damn call? Why did you leave, man? Yeah, whatever, whatever. So one of the main goals when you're in this stage, or essentially a stage from 0 to 50K per month, is that you need to actually validate your ICP and nail down rock solid, unbreakable foundations, because it becomes hell when you're trying to scale. Because if you don't, the most problem with most coaches nowadays and consultants is that they haven't hired teams beforehand that actually help them scale. So they're the ones who's hopping on all the sales calls. They're ones who are marketing the issue. They're the ones who are creating the content and setting up their Instagram page. They're the ones who are going back and forth with their clients and their prospects. They're the ones who are getting leads and also delivering services or fulfilling on their promises for their clients. So you need to actually hire a team beforehand. So you need to hire an editor, you need to hire a marketer, you need to also hire multiple and build AI agents that can actually sustain and also put your operations and systems on steroids so that everything else is pretty much easier. And also the key bottlenecks in this stage is offer paralysis, or essentially when you're just micromanaging every single little thing and you just can't focus on the high leverage tasks that you need to actually build and scale your coaching business. So one of the key philosophies that we've seen in our clients and the clients that we've scaled their coaching businesses for is that they have a leverage mindset, or essentially trying to do more with less. They're trying to make more money with less. And the backwards principle is when you approach things in a way where you're asking them, or where you're asking the system why the system won't work, why won't this process or this method that I'm happily giving to audience that are watching this video won't work. Next is the constraints belief system, or when it comes to the process of scaling, you're thinking in a system of constraints. So what is stopping you from reaching this level, and what is stopping you from reaching that level, and what has stopped you from reaching this level, that level, whatever, whatever. Next is value and belief shifting. So people don't remember what you say, but how you make them feel. So if I kiss you right now, you automatically assign that kind of emotion and associate that emotion with me. So if I make you feel good, pause. If I make you laugh or anything like that, then obviously you'll associate all the positive information with me. But if I'm somebody who's a negative person, so let's just say I swear all the time, something like that, you automatically associate me as a bad person with negative emotions. It's the same reason why Alex Hormozy is somebody who's so loud. So, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for literally watching all this yap. I won't be linking you with a CTA, and most people have probably clicked off by now since I just said thank you for watching this video. But that's pretty much it. Implement all the advice.